wasn't on Anchorman. Now he's like, oh, you should go back to your island on Whore Island. Thank you. Good night.
And we are live on Unfiltered. There are many wonderful things in the Shire. There are beaches, there are Northies is great. Also, one thing that's not the best in the Shire is their rugby league teams at the moment. There are problems galore at both the Dragons and the Sharks. Let's start with the Dragons. The Dragons are struggling in results. They're struggling with players wanting to leave, and now they're struggling with their star recruit, Ben Hunt, being arrested for a week, much to the disappointment of probably his teammates and the fans. Now, Will, how do you feel when your season's on the line with your marquee signing having a sit down?
Yeah, I think I echo the noises from every single main player at the moment, like Joey and Lockie and Gallen and Gus Gould and all the players are just wondering. There would have been a conversation like saying, "Gee, are you ready to play? Are you this and that?" And even if he goes, "I want to rest you this week," you're like, "Nah, I'm playing because I'm your marquee player and you got pride in your jersey and pride in yourself." And I'm just thinking, it's either the coach or the player there was a miscommunication, or one of them doesn't want to play. One of those people don't want to play.
Well, maybe McGregor's seen kicking stones around training.
But who cares? I don't care. Like, if Ben Hunt's kicking stones and he's disappointed about Origin, if he wasn't injured and he doesn't and there's no excuse. And I think it had to be Ben Hunt's decision. It has to be.
It had to be.
It has to be. I just can't figure it out because I know backing up from Origin and having a club. I've been in that situation myself, and knowing that we have to win to stay alive or to be in contention. You're playing. So obviously something's happened there, and I just think that the wrong decision was made because they've pretty much cost their season's done.
I remember talking to you. When you came back from Origin, you actually felt energised coming back into clubland. It was.
You got to bring that. You got to bring that energy back. I mean, even though if you lose, I've been involved in some losing sides, but you bring that.
You've been involved plenty of losing sides.
Plenty of them. Yeah, but you bring that energy back, regardless if you lose or not. You just play at that different level. Training's a lot quicker. You're playing with better players and everything like that. And then you come back to club and you give that energy to all those young kids. And they need to come up to your level. So you do come back, and then you want to start a run into the semi-finals. This is a very important part of the year for a lot of clubs, and especially St George. So you can see a lot of the experts sitting on the sidelines going, "Why didn't Ben Hunt play?" So we haven't heard anything from Ben Hunt. So it's an anomaly to me. I think it's just weird. I just thought, I just expected him to play because I heard rumours that he mightn't play. He might be rested. So no, I just thought, no, 100% he's playing.
Especially when you look at the Dragons and you think, they've had the Bellin out the whole year for different reasons, obviously. They've got Widdop's been out the whole year. They're short on numbers.
It's affected him. But look, you got Frizzell, Tarek Sims, Corbin Sims, Vaughan, McInnes, Corey Norman.
No, but I'm just saying for Hunt then to drop out when they're short cattle. It's not like they could cover him.
But I was just saying, I just rattled off those names just then, and they're all Origin players or Test stars. It's unbelievable how St George have. I tipped them in my top four.
Yeah,
they're going to be bottom four. So it's a very disappointing year for St George. They might. I don't know. They might make a little bit of a late run, but I don't see it happening. I hear rumblings. Frizzell's not happy. And obviously the DeBellin thing has rattled some players there. Don't try and think that it hasn't. It does affect it. He's a big part of that playing group, and a lot of players are sticking by him. So don't try and think that doesn't affect you, because you see one of your best mates, who in your eyes and in his eyes getting wrongly accused of something. It does affect the playing group, and with it being out, and he's been a major key in their success for years. He's a leader in that club, and he's been out for majority of the year. So a lot of those little factors. It does affect the playing group, but I just rattled off those names. They're leaders. Yeah. They're not your average players. Your Frizzells, your Tarek Sims, your Ben Hunts. You're paying Ben Hunt to come down there and grab that group collectively and just go, all right, follow me. He's got to a grand final before. Unfortunately, he lost it, but he knows how to get there. He's won Origin series before. I would expect him to put, Corey Norman on his back and all these people and go, all right, let's get to the 8, and then we'll make a run for it. I've totally expected something different from him, and it's disappointing.
Everyone,
just to see everyone just go. Everyone's just like, oh fuck, St George is like what? Come, third last.
everyone just wants to sack the coach again, but it's not really. I don't
I mean,
know.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
really
How
fully
much
let it
onus can you put on a coach?
go. Yeah.
I mean, like he's got all the cattle there, but I mean, like he's given the same game plans that everybody else has. It's not NFL when you're actually a better coach than the other bloke. It's the same fucking moves. It's all the same shit. Very robotic at this stage, and it's just the players just aren't getting the job done. But Paul Mary's probably going to cop it, and he is copping it, and he probably he'll probably end up on the scrap heap. But I don't think
No,
he
he's got a
deserves
contract,
it.
Will.
Oh yeah, because contracts mean
Contracts.
so much.
Probably the only thing making the St George players, fans, and supporters happy is the fact that the Sharks are also going shithouse at the moment. Now, one thing I found interesting was the Sharks. The rumours around are that the players are getting upset because they're not playing in the position that they want to play in.
Like
Now,
who?
So Dugan's not happy getting shoved around. I don't think Dugan's happy about much at the moment, to be honest. But Bronson Sherry's getting put in the centres, but now he's on the wing. He's probably the best young centre in the game. You've got Josh Morris then, who played Origin, and he's getting moved around. Moylan, 5'8", fullback.
Who do you blame there? Do you blame the coach?
Well, first of all, is that a thing? Like, if you're playing first grade, do you have a choice to say, I don't want to play on the wing?
Well, everybody has a preference. Moylan and Dugan. Like Dugan went to the Sharks to play fullback, and then all of a sudden he's playing right centre, left centre on the wing. So you can see why Dugan's a little bit pissed off. But everybody's a pro. You're a professional, so you got to get the job done and do it. Yeah, and you do play where you're told. But like I was just going through, a couple of personalities and egos out there. I mean, like Gallen, he's been out there for 1,000 years. Fafita, Dugan, Moylan, and Johnson. It's a fair group right there. And it's all about handling egos at the moment. I'm not sure if Josh Morris is doing that. I think that they have the group there, and that's what's more disappointing. They've had that group on the field for majority of the year, and they are coming. They're in the in the bottom half of the ladder. So I just think they haven't had the right mix, and they haven't had the right people in the right positions, and they've had a few injuries here and there. But I think that's up to the coach.
But mate, you're imagine. Well, don't imagine. At one stage you were, but you're a senior player in a club. You're sitting there at training, and a bloke's having a sook because he's in a different position. As a senior player, you say, pull your head in, play where you're told. This is a team game.
I think that happens. I think they had that leadership out there with Wade Graham and Paul Gallen running that whole ship.
How would he put up with
it? Gal's put his his minutes are down, his meters are down, everything's down, but he's there to try and help these young kids come up. So you can't say that Paul Gallen's not there trying to help these kids going, all right, this is what needs to be done. Dugan, you need to do this. Josh Morris, you need to do this. Bronson Sherry, you need to do this. Get along with it and get it done. Yeah. Here's the deal. We need to make the 8. We've got one of the most talented rosters in the game, and we're not in the top 8. It's like, I know Gal would be driving that. It'd be so disappointing to see them where they're sitting now. I mean, they should be in the top 4.
Yeah, they should.
Or 5th or 6th, and they're not even in the top 8. So I think something needs to happen out there. I'm not sure whether it be a coaching thing, but I just think they've got the mix wrong. I mean, just a guy like Johnson, he'd annoy the shit out of me playing with him. Just like a bloke like Gallen who rips in for that club, loves that club, played over 350 games for it, like premierships, Australia, New South Wales. Gets a guy like Johnson, who's a glamour boy of the club. Gallen wants to see that grimy, gritty Cronulla play. And I've always been a massive fan of Johnson. I love him. He's so talented. He's one of the most talented kids I've ever seen. He's probably played 6 good games this year.
Yeah.
That's why guys like Joey and Lockie and all that can you give us a whole year?
He's probably played 7 games.
Can you imagine if Gal is out there and what he's thinking of Johnson? I know if I was out there ripping in every single game, and I seen a talented prick like him sitting there not putting all that effort in when I know what you can do, it starts festering.
Yeah.
And it might have done that in the first 5 or 6 rounds, and it's starting to come to its head now, and everyone's sort of over him. Mate,
that's
what
honestly,
they're looking to
he's only played a few. He's been injured a lot of the time.
I'm just saying. I just know how forwards think and how they look at their backs, and they just they'll be looking at Johnson going, you're top 3, 5 talented players in the last 20 years.
If someone like Fafita, and Fafita's not dissimilar in his sort of, not persona, but the way he's perceived, and he'd be a leader in that club. how's he going with a bloke you played with as his coach? I mean, just say you had Rennie as your coach.
You cannot try and say that that's not a factor.
Rennie's your coach.
Like
What do you
100%.
say?
I'm just
And
saying.
Ren goes to your mate on Legion.
I just think there's a respect thing out there. I'm just keeping it 100. I know if someone was coaching me that I played with and that I was better than, and that I just didn't have that much respect for, it would show. It would show in video sessions and everything like that. And no disrespect to John Morris, it happened to Nathan Brown.
Yeah.
You know, Brownie he tried to coach Trent Barrett and these sort of guys, and you end up having to do 5 or 6 years overseas. Maybe Johnny Morris got rushed into the job too quick. Because when you're playing with guys, you've been trying to coach guys like Gal, Josh Morris, all these sort of guys who are senior players, Fafita, like Dugan. Everyone's got their own ego. So what are you telling me what to do?
Yeah.
Well, you weren't that good. You know, people are like that. Players are like that. And you can't sugarcoat and say, oh yeah, we have respect for the coach. At the end of the day, it's just I'll just keep it real. It's just you just don't.
Well,
a player, unless you look at his stats, and you're like, yeah, he played over 300 games. Who gives a fuck? How many tests you play? How many origins you play? All this kind of stuff. Everything. Premierships. Players that would come into their head. Yeah. So I just know how players are and how their attitudes would be, especially when it gets to this end right now. Managing players, picking the right people, picking people out of position. It starts pissing players off.
I would rather do literally anything than be a first grade rugby league coach.
I'd wait for everybody to retire, everyone to retire that I played against, and then I'd start coaching.
Yeah, well,
they're all nearly done now. Gal, I'm just waiting for Gal to go, and
everyone will be over
Cameron Smith.
You would not last 5 minutes. Everyone would be over you in 5 seconds.
No, they wouldn't.
They reckon that, speaking of the Sharks, Josh Reynolds he's playing in the world's best Reggie side at the Tigers. Just talking about player transfers at the moment, you've got Maloney announced as going overseas. He's leaving Penrith. You've got all this talk about Frizzell going to the Roosters and Crichton going to Union. You've got Kieran Foran, the Dogs apparently have been trying to offload him now for 2 years.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong. June 30 transfer window, you're allowed to swap players up until June the 30th. And then, hands off. You can't talk again until November the 1st. Mate, it is the 27th or 24th of July, and we're sitting here already talking about players. It's less than a month later. There has to be a better way than this.
Well, we sort of try to, we were talking, before the show and today about something that the NRL have to come to, like a free agency, like a transfer window where it's a little bit later than June 30. I think that's too soon because I think there's a certain game that you have to get to go overseas. So just say you played 12 games. So I'm paraphrasing here, people. So just say you played 12 games and you needed 14 or 15 games to get overseas, or maybe 20. You might need that origin period to get those 3 or 4 games in because people are going to get rested. Your Boyd Cordens are going to get rested. All the superstar players are going to get rested. So I just think they need to come up with something where, like the June 30 thing, obviously it's not working. No. As I said, we're speaking about Foran. We're trying to offload Foran to $1.2 million. Reynolds on 800,000. I just think there should be something where it should be just say from July 1 to 14. It's like a free agency thing, I think, in my head, where players just say like a Crichton, he wants the Roosters sort of want to get rid of him. He wants to go back to Union or something like that. Then you hear rumblings about Frizzell. You'd think that the clubs could come into, have an agreement, say, look, all right, Frizzell, I know you want to be out of here. Like we'll swap you in free agency for Crichton and just say Zane Tedavano. This is just like spitballing, you know what I mean? Like just like a trade thing. Do you know what I mean?
So just say, using that, and I think
that's just an example.
Idea.
Like, so Frizzell wants to go. So he wants to leave. Just say now. He's got next year to go. But the Roosters sort of hear rumblings and say, okay, well, we'll give you Angus Crichton plus Zane Tedavano and maybe a halfback, like a Lamb. So you got 3 players for that one person.
What if the players, though, say, well, I'm happy here. I want to see my contract out. Like, it would have to be, it's a great idea, but obviously you'd have to have the players involved as well.
Yeah, the players have got to be involved, and I think it's going to be up to like the CEOs and the football managers to manage your rosters, and you've got to be accountable for stuff. Yeah. So just another example is like Ash Taylor. He's on 900,000 a year. Yeah. I think Canberra they're a halfback off winning the comp. So just say he goes down to Canberra at the back end of the year, gets to the eight games in. So Canberra I reckon one or two people off. They're a right centre off and a halfback off winning the comp.
Yeah.
So just say so you get Ash Taylor down there for whatever money. It's just a clean swap. You swap for Aiden Caesar, you get it down there under Ricky Stewart, a whole different change for him, and he starts living up to his potential. And then you get another centre, and then it's just like a trade. You just trade off players, and you just sort of equal it out without being in a position where Reynolds has to go, oh, can you pay $300,000 of mine so I can come to Cronulla, for fuck's sake?
Yeah.
Like there's none of that. It's like a clean swap or there's no swap. Like unlucky, like Foran's there, he's on 1.2 mil a year. That's bad management from that's unlucky for Foran because he's worth that much money in his prime, but that's bad management from the Bulldogs. You've got to suck that up. But I'm just trying to think, there needs to be some sort of window where they can go, all right, let's just try and trade, especially if you're one or two spots off making a top 8 or winning a grand final. Melbourne and Roosters are way ahead, and South, they're way ahead of everyone. So I'm just thinking if you're a winger off and you see a winger like in the bottom half of the 8, like just say like a Blake Ferguson, just say he was sitting back there, like you try and trade for him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's like I just think the fans would be a lot happier just to see just even seeing like a player in Reggie's or something like that. It's not happy. He's just looking for one way out, and then and then another club. They do it in the NBA and everything. It's a frenzy, and everyone's in.
Lachlan Lamb, for example. So Kyle Flanagan's just signed with the Roosters.
Yeah.
Everyone signs with the Roosters, but so Kyle Flanagan's now ahead of Lachlan Lamb in the pecking order. Now Lachlan Lamb's a Papua New Guinean international. He could say, all right, well, Canberra's short a halfback.
Yeah.
I go to Canberra, for example. They swap another young player with the Roosters. They might say, well, we need a big front rower.
Yeah.
Emre Gula, for example.
Well, what about the big guy from the Titans? You know, like he looks unhappy, but he's played for Australia 4 years ago.
Yeah.
If I'm just say the Knights, I'm like, geez, I wouldn't mind that big bugger. Yeah. All right, let's go swap a couple of young fellas around, see how much we can get Boyd for, and then like just like a clean swap. So all right, now we get 8 games, and he can prove himself. Or you take his whole contract. I just think like the NRL can tinker with it a little bit. Obviously, not do exactly what I'm saying because it's a little bit all over the shop. But you sort of know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like it's just free agency, and you've got 14 days to do it instead of the June 30 date where it's just a load of shit. Because we're talking about trading people now. But just make it fair. Make it fair on the clubs and the fans as well, because the fans will respect it. Going, okay, well, if he wants out, and then the player has to be honest. Does Crichton want out?
That's the problem with the transparency. So just say, for example, Crichton turns up and he says, do you know what? I'm an edge back rower. I'm sick of playing in the middle. I'm sick of going off the bench. Then for whatever reason that deal falls over. Yeah. Well, then the Roosters are like, well, you've been sooking about being here. Yeah. We hate you now. Yeah. So there's got to be some sort of protection for the players.
There's going to be protection for the players.
If you open it up, everyone's doing the same thing.
We have a look at Parramatta. You go, God, what sort of play? Yeah, they need a couple of props. You've got Ben Madalino and Russell Packer in reserve grade.
The best regions.
In the best, you know what I mean? Like, so do a deal with the West Tigers. Yeah. Because these players are first graders, but just because they don't fit in the coach's scheme and how they play, they can't play first grade.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of room where there's people sitting in reserve grade, like Josh Reynolds. Just say like Josh Reynolds is a first grader, but he can't get a run at the Tigers. He's been injuries. Benji's been playing at such a high level, but it's like, okay, well let's just say Sean Johnson's not playing up to scratch. We'll just have a clean swap.
Well, Liam Wright, thanks for tuning in, Liam. Liam wants to know, do you think any other clubs would want Kieran Foran?
Well, at this moment now, if I was Kieran Foran, I'm staying at the Dogs. Yeah. Because this is what I'm saying, where clubs have to cop some accountability and say, you know what, we're paying you this money. Sorry, it didn't work out. He's been injured. The only reason why he's not putting maximum effort in is because he's injured all the time. Yeah. So another club isn't going to go out for Foran. And like even the Bulldogs are trying to say they'll pay his whole contract.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with the Bulldogs, if they said to someone, yeah, here's Kieran Foran, we'll give you 600 grand. They save 600, they can buy Lachlan Lamb for 200.
Imagine if they got exactly little things like that. The Bulldogs are probably a big prop, like a prop and a centre off being a top 8 side. Imagine getting that big bastard from the Titans. Yeah. Like he's just ready to play football. He's filthy on the time that he gets. He's not happy up there. He went up there for money. He went up there for the wrong reasons. And you put him in a decent camp And like it can change your whole year just off just one gamble when you try and get the person. Like Selesniak, he's sort of changed that whole little thing around at the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
He's playing some great football, but I just think you could really make some excitement around it. You know, it's and they need to, like, let's just say with the salary caps, it needs to be some sort of.
Does there even need
be
to
a
be
bit
a
little?
window? Like, why not just say,
Can it be a free for all year?
It's a free for all. There is no loyalty in rugby league anymore. I mean,
No.
we joke about contracts. Contracts don't mean anything in this game anymore. So why not the whole year just go, all right, he's unhappy, let's do...
Well, it sort of happens anyway, doesn't
anyway.
it? But I mean, like, just say, like, an example is Frizzell. There's rumours around where there's smoke, there's fire. Not happy. He's got another year in his contract. You know, like, it's...
Well, the Trebojevic brothers. No one's allowed to talk to the Trebojevic brothers.
Yeah.
You think people aren't talking to the Trebojevic brothers? You're not allowed to talk to him until the 1st of November. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No worries. Could be the biggest signing in the club's history, but we won't talk to him. We'll just let Manly...
I mean, it's ridiculous. But I just think the game should actually look at it, and it could be a little bit more exciting for the game. You know, I know in the NBA and the EPL and NFL, it's one of the most exciting times of the year because you don't know who's going to go where, because it could change your whole season. If you get right at the back end, if you get another 2 big players, it could turn Souths into actual front runners. If they get a couple of outside backs and maybe one good forward, it changes everything. Changes Canberra, it changes Parramatta. Like, I'm talking like 2 or 3 key players, and I just think it should happen around about the end of Origin, because you sort of you're figuring out where you are.
Yeah.
You know, like you're going, oh shit, I wish we had a halfback. You know, then you look at the Roosters, they've got 3.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then you can start making some moves there, because you want to sort of sort your roster out all year and go, okay, we'll try and figure this out, figure it out. Then by round 18, you've got it figured out, and you're just not going to make the 8, or you're about 1 or 2, 3 players off pushing for the 8 or pushing for a premiership.
Yeah.
So I just think the NRL can sort of maybe play around with it a little bit. You know, there should be some, you know, things like luxury tax. You should go on to next year's cap. You know, there's a lot of things they can take out of other sports, because other sports do it better than us.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, especially the American sports, they do it better than us. They're the leaders in sport, NFL, you know, like the NBA. They just do everything better than us, and we need to learn and just copy off it. So it doesn't, the fans will be more excited. The clubs won't be let down as much, and you know, you just get along with it. But obviously, other people at home, you can sort of figure it out. What I'm saying, it's not rocket science.
No, you made sense.
Yeah,
you make some sense. Sometimes you make some sense. One bloke who will not be in the transfer window is Cameron Smith, who, as we spoke about last week, just achieved his 400th game and is not far from retirement. 1 year to go. Max Krilich, the Manly legend, did not miss him, however, with a fair spray, saying basically, I think he might have over-egged the pie a little bit, but he's saying that it was against the spirit of the game, and he was the worst human being ever lived. And
I said it last week. You know, he pushes the boundaries, but he doesn't do anything nasty, nothing grubby. I mean, he does a few grubby things, but who doesn't? But I don't think he deserves that. Like, Maxie's got every right to say what he wants. He's a Manly legend. He's probably just trying to fire his boys up for this week. It's a big grudge match. They hate Manly. Manly hate Melbourne. So,
everyone hates Melbourne.
They do. They hate him because they win.
They win.
And like, Maxie has got every right to say what he wants, and I just don't think it's warranted at the moment, because Cameron Smith's just trying to get along with his career. He'll end up playing probably 450 games, be one of our great players, and like, why are we hammering him now?
He's going to keep
all of a sudden. I think he's been worse than this. 5
100%.
years ago, there was a couple of years there when he was doing some stuff, but people can't handle it because he knows how to talk to refs.
Yeah.
He knows how to get through the game.
Plenty of practice.
He knows how to push. He knows how to push the boundaries. He just knows all the little nuances of the game that other captains can't do. He does. He gets little edges in the game, and he does it. Other players can't do it. Ex-players see it. They don't like the way how he does his business. Just get over it.
As I said last week, I love him.
Get over it. I mean, like, Cameron Smith.
People hammered me. He's not a grub. I like him.
I mean, I don't understand how grubby he can be. He doesn't fight people. He doesn't do anything wrong. I don't know.
Me and Fred agreed to disagree last week. Now, one thing that we should mention is that this week is the Mark Hughes Foundation's beanie for brain cancer.
I've got my beanie on.
He's got yours.
Even though it's not this year's, must be in the mail. Boozy, eh?
He's brushed you.
But it is. It's an important week, and the amount of money that Mark Hughes' raise for brain cancer is phenomenal. I think he's raised over $5 million in the last 5 years or something like that. But I'm paraphrasing. I think it's something. It's something like that.
It's a lot of money.
Like $5 million.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and what he's doing with it, and he's helping other families, and everything that he's doing. I've known Boozy for about 15 years. Played against him and with him. He's one of the greatest blokes in the NRL, and what he's doing, and the NRL's jumped behind it. Everybody's jumped behind it. So, get out there and buy your beanie and support brain cancer, because it's tragic. It is. I've met some people in the hospital and that's been affected by it, and it is gut wrenching.
It's not a good one to get. So the beanies for brain cancer round this weekend. We will go through the games now for you so that you know who not to back after how we've been going lately. The Cronulla Sharks are playing against the Cowboys. Now the Sharks are probably this is one they really
paying
have
$1.48.
They have to win.
They've got to win it. I mean, Cowboys have still got that talented side, and they can come down and shock you. But I don't think they will. Cronulla's got too much to play for. I mean, they're a ballsy side. They've got a lot of pride, and they'll be out to they'll get it this week. They've got it. They've got to.
The Cowboys have been
so they're only they're 2 points outside the 8.
I know. Everyone's 2 points outside the 8.
Oh, mate. But I mean, I can't understand it. They've been, it's ridiculous. I mean, if they've dropped, it'll be one of those years where a lot of players, just say the Tigers and maybe the Broncos, Warriors, Sharks might be going, oh, but remember the 5 games we lost by 2 points? Fucking sucks, that feeling. I've had it before. And I just think, obviously there's going to be some teams out there. Even the Knights are on the verge. They've lost 2 or 3 in a row. Not a good look. They need to get out there and start winning some games.
I'm predicting that Andrew Fafita is going to blow up and play fullback. He wants to play fullback this week. So I'm going to tip the Cowboys in that game. The Knights are playing against the Tigers. The Tigers, Now, I saw footage of Michael Maguire.
How old did he look?
Oh, do you reckon it's got to him?
Fucking hell.
Coaching.
Good job. He's my age, Madge. 39. Oil of Uland, mate.
I don't. Yeah, he needs something.
Coconut cream or something.
See a doctor.
Polynesian genetics, something like that.
I just think the
Knights have got to win. If they lose this one, I think they'll. Obviously, they could possibly slip out of the 8 mathematically, but they could miss the 8. I think they're on that much of a downward spiral. I think Pearcey. 2 games doesn't really change a year, but it just looks like some of the old habits are creeping back in. I'm still going to back the Knights. But the West Tigers, they're a tough, gritty team. Yeah. They'll be up there trying to win, they're the favourites paying $1.47, so that's not. It's a shit bet. West Tigers paying $2.60. That's not bad.
The Wayne Bennetts are playing against the Dragons. Ben Hunt's gracing the Dragons with his presence this weekend. Widdop's back soon, though they're not this weekend. The Wayne Bennetts.
Isn't he back? I think he might be back. No,
this week.
Well, they were trying to say that, but I don't think so. But I think Wayne will have his team. Sam Burgess. Hope he's all right. He had a few complications on his operation. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, disease-riddled shoulder.
Because he's been hitting brick walls for fucking 20 years. But hopefully he's through that. And Wayne, they're in a great position to let him come back slowly, 2 or 3 weeks, and then he'll get about 4 games in before the semi-finals and just start terrorising everybody. So. I don't think see us get beat there. They're back on the bandwagon, mate.
Yeah. Parramatta, who would be a Parramatta fan? Honestly, it would be like pulling teeth every weekend. You don't know what you're going to get. They're playing against the Warriors. Parramatta.
It's a weird team to back.
West
they had a lot to play for last week, and they got their asses kicked over there. So they're very hard to beat at Bank West. The Warriors don't really. Traditionally don't travel that well. No. Probably a good bet at $2.40 actually, to think about it. But because you don't know what side what Warriors side's going to rock up and the Eels. So I'm going to back the Warriors.
Warriors?
I'll be putting some money on the Warriors, I think.
I'm going to take the Eels in that game just because I don't really care and it's different from you.
Well, Titans, $2.90.
Titans, because they're crap.
Yeah, Broncos, $1.41.
Broncos have come good, to be fair.
I don't know. Do you know why? What do you reckon?
I reckon what's happened is that they've all sort of settled down to Seabold a little bit. He's got rid of Milford. Milford at fullback.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he's good.
Darius. I think he's probably played his last game fullback a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But Milford is outstanding. I think he's getting over 200 metres a game. And at Canberra, he was a fullback.
He was a fullback.
He was a fullback, and he was dynamic. He was unbelievable. So he's back to his best. He's so dangerous. I think I loved playing against him when he was in the front line. Because when he was fullback and doing whatever he wants to do, he is ridiculous. So Darius is probably stuck at 5'8" for the next 2 or 3 years, however long he's up there. You know, they're $1.41. I actually read that wrong. I just thought it was the other way around. That's why I said it. Really shocked. Yeah, the Titans should be about $5. The Broncos paying Haas. Now they're starting to play.
Yeah.
Tavita Pangai Jr.
They've got Fafita in the centre.
Fafita. Like, he's a freaking animal. They've got Beast, Lodge, McCulloch, all these guys, Alex Glenn. I think they've got a team. I mean, I know they're on 17 points. It might be that odd little number that might slip them in the 8. If they get in the 8, they'll be dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, I tipped them not to be in it, but they could do anything, I reckon.
They win that game.
Yeah.
Storm playing against Manly, the Max Krilich versus Cameron Smith grudge match.
That'll sort of set where, Manly will be looking at that going, where are we really?
Yeah.
Where are we? We've got a decent side. We've knocked off some top 4 sides. We've done this. We've done that. It's down there. It's going to be fucking filthy Melbourne weather. Saturday. Yes. I mean, I love Melbourne nightlife. I mean, the Melbourne are paying $1.33, $3.30 for the Sea Eagles. That's a freaking good bet. I'm going to go the Eagles. I just think they're going to go down there with a different mentality. I think the Trebojevic brothers are on fire. Tommy's been killing it. They played outstanding last week. Cherry Evans has been playing outstanding. I think their Fanua Blake, George Tafua is hitting like a truck.
Oh, what about him?
Whoever their right winger is will be shit. I think it's maybe Vunivalu, I think.
No, I think he got suspended.
Well, Sandor Earl's going to get his ribs broken. So I think, put that man bun behind your head, Shandor.
I think Storm win that because I just think.
I just think you're just going for favourites because you've got no balls.
Para aren't the favourite. Were Para the favourite?
Para, it's the Eagles and Storm.
No, but were Para favourites? You're saying you're accusing me.
Oh,
just
were they? No, they weren't favourites last week. No.
So, the Dogs against the Roosters, I'm definitely backing the favourites there because the Roosters have finally hit some form. They've got players coming
Tedesco.
out.
We can't stop rapping Tedesco.
It's unbelievable.
Honestly, man, how good can he play? I mean, Latrell. Credit to Latrell. Like, he could have went any way. He's got, everyone thought he lost his way there. He's back to his best.
I'm declaring, absolutely declaring, it is going to be a Melbourne Roosters grand final. Melbourne Roosters grand final. Well, it has to be. I mean,
I think South will be the one that's going to be like in that final 4.
Why, Will?
Because they've got a really good side.
And what?
Wayne's a coach.
He'll
get them going. I swear, they'll be in the final 4. They'll either be playing Melbourne or the Roosters.
And they'll get beat. And then
I think they'll probably win. But I think Bulldogs went to the Bulldogs reunion on the weekend. Had a couple of beers with some former players and some current players. There's a good vibe out there. They know the trade would have done them a world of good if they could get that whatever we're calling it, get maybe a couple of props that they needed. Like some outside backs. Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying this is my whole fucking point, isn't it? Get a halfback. They've got some young kids there, but obviously they're rebuilding for next year. And the Roosters are $1.14. I mean, and you can't say that players don't look at this shit and go, fucking $5.50. That is ridiculous.
Well, they don't because they're not allowed to bet. So.
You look at it, you don't bet on it.
Panthers, who are slowly but surely making me look like an imbecile after winning 700 on a row. They're playing against Canberra, who I love. I am tipping Canberra.
Yeah.
Penrith, you stink. Stop winning.
What are your thoughts on Kickout getting suspended?
I think it was a week suspension, to be perfectly honest.
1 week or weak-minded?
Weak-minded.
Yeah. What is the judiciary? What are they? It's like they've never played a game.
There's no
Just want some common sense. Like, he's dipped. He's already dipped. He means to hit him and just put some pressure. And he hits him. And it's a decent hit because he's 6'5" and 120 fucking kilos and a monster. And the other little guy's on his first game and he just gets pummeled.
Yeah.
Unlucky. It's a man's game. I just don't understand. I mean, Kickout's like a fair play. He plays the game big and he plays the game tough and fair. He's not a dirty player.
No.
And he doesn't need this on his little resume coming into the semi-finals because you need him.
Yeah, you need him.
I just don't think, I'm just sick of the judiciary. How do you get it so wrong? like Tarek Sims. Are you going off what Tarek because you fucked up against Tarek?
You have to now.
They should have looked in the mirror after Tarek going, oh God, we stuffed up there. He didn't deserve 2 weeks, cost him Origin and everything like that. Then they could have written their wrongs, whatever you say.
Written their wrongs.
Whatever. But like, get it right, Judy. Like, just get it right. Just get it right. Fucking, like, you're gonna ruin someone. You know, like you're ruining the year. We've got enough bullshit with you can't get all the bloody rules right and the bunker and all this kind of shit. Get something right.
You all right?
No, it pisses me off. A lot of people they're over it, mate. Like it's like the bunker. You don't know what a knock on is anymore. You don't know what the fuck if you're gonna get suspended. It's like who said it? It's playing like Russian roulette or some shit.
Well, did Canberra win that game then? Without Billy Kickow with the world's worst?
Nah, I reckon Penrith win.
You reckon Penrith
win?
Yeah,
Jimmy Maloney, I reckon. Congrats to Jimmy too. Just ring me up if you want to know any good places in the French Riviera. Hey?
And to be fair, the man next to me did enjoy his time.
You will love it, Jimmy. Oh, mate, and you deserve everything you get, mate. You've been outstanding for the game, and
very close
mate,
to Spain.
go and relax. Yeah,
very
you're not
too.
Yeah, Barcelona's a really shitty city to be right next to. It's equivalent from us here going to Newcastle. They're going to Barcelona. So, yeah, don't get on that train much. It only takes an hour and 4 minutes.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, so Pat, we've got a few different tips.
And you don't get taxed as much. Yeah.
Financial advice. That concludes Unfiltered for this week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us as always. And
yes, I will be out at the Mounties on Friday night having a couple of beers and talking a bit of football with all the punters that get out there. And it's all the money will be raised for the Mark Hughes Foundation. So
buy your beanies.
Get out there, buy your beanies, and I might have an orange juice with you.